Okay guys, quick update with Bitcoin. So I'm going to cover your key levels on the daily and the hourly. Also want to explain why today is very important for Bitcoin in the markets, as well as March 7th. We're going to cover all of that. You can see we're testing a key resistance level. Again, I'm going to give you all these key levels to pay attention to. If you watched the last video I put up, the video before, and I was telling you, 78,000 was a great point too long. But if we pushed up, if we got above 88,000 to 88,500, 89,000. Next point to go short was 93,500 to 94,000. I'll link this video now if you want to check it out. That same video also was talking about the H1 chart. This fib line right here I was talking about, and this is also where the central Bollinger Band was on the daily, around 94,300. That was your point to go short. I had made a post in Discord about this as well. There was so much previous support, it would flip as resistance. So that was your point to short this this move from 77,000, from 78,000. And you can see we got a nice rejection. We had all of this resistance, all of the support flipped as resistance, and you see we got a nice drop all the way back down to 82,000, and we actually caught that bounce. In that same video, I was talking about these white lines. I actually zoomed out and showed you how important these white lines are, so do go back and watch that last video. But you see we came down. This is the previous video I was talking about these white lines. So if we come back down, these are going to be key support levels. This is another reason to go long, and you can see we came down and found almost perfect support. Remember that video before I was talking about this line here we call it perfect support, this fib line? Well, this was the next fib line, perfect support around 82,000. That was your point to go long. And just recently in Discord, I mentioned this point as a possible point to short in confluence with the D1 chart. So again, I'm going to cover all of your key levels, but I do want you to understand why today is important and March 7th is going to be very important. Guys, if you want to get into leverage trading, CoinCatch is a great option. This is the events page. I will put a link up to this now if you want to check it out. Again, CoinCatch is no KYC. You don't need a VPN. This is again, so if you deposit 500 USDT, you can get 700 USDT back as a bonus. If you deposit 1,000, you can get $3,000 back. And if you receive your bonus, you can get free access to my chart. So do read this events page. I also have a link pinned how you claim your bonus, because people have been asking about that. If you want to sign up under my affiliate link, that's right here. I'll put a link up to that now. Again, all this will be pinned first comment description. If you want to learn how to trade on CoinCatch, guys, I made this video. It's about 30 minutes long. I cover every single tool that I use, how I use them, how I protect myself. So great video to watch, especially if you're trading on CoinCatch. I'll put a link up to this video now. And guys, remember, we're coming up on that ring. That last video I asked you guys, I said, look, if you can get over 2,000 likes, I will actually make a video when I go long at the ring and when I short at the ring. We did not hit 2,000 likes, so guys, get those likes up, and subscribe. But if you get over 2,000 likes, I will keep my word, and I will put a video up when I go long at the ring and when I go short. So again, I'll keep my word, but you gotta smash those likes for me. So I'll give you key levels. Again, we're getting rejected here, but let me explain to you why today is important and why March 7th is going to be very, very important. And guys, we're getting closer and closer to this ring. Now, you can get access to this live chart anytime you want. If you want to sign up through the website, it's optikercrypto.com. That link's pinned in the first comment description. $49 a month. You can cancel anytime. That'll give you access to all of these crypto charts, including the charts I'm showing now. If you do sign up, make sure you email me through the website on the contact page. I'll verify you have an active account, and then I'll send you a Discord invite link. So before we cover these key levels, I want to show you why today is important. Now, I created 3 DXY charts. There's US dollar, 3 different charts. All 3 charts are showing 104 is going to be a major support level to possibly get a bounce. So remember, the US dollar, if the DXY is dropping, typically that's bullish for markets, bullish for Bitcoin. If you start seeing the US dollar, the DXY start pushing up, that's bearish for markets and bearish for Bitcoin. So just to show you, and I've been talking about this, I think I talked about it a few videos back, definitely in Discord. But if you'll take note, this flip circle right here, again, they call me Lord of the Rings. But you'll notice every time we hit one of these rings, we get a bounce. Got a bounce here, we got a bounce here, came down, it was support. Notice it was support here, got a bounce, pushed up. Notice the resistance right here, became support. We pushed up, we pushed above this one. Notice this yellow ring became resistance. And now we are coming down to test this yellow ring as support. Let me get rid of all of these little circles here. So let me zoom in, and again, it's not just this chart. I have I have two other charts, again, charted different ways that show 104 is going to be a major support level. Take note, we came down almost perfect contact on that ring. So again, not only do we have that ring that price has been respecting, we also have this, you see this green line was support, right? It was resistance, resistance, support, 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 support. We came below it briefly, pushed back above it as support. So again, you have that green line as support, right? You have this ring that's going to be support, which actually implies a possible bounce. That's how these rings work. And you have our previous high, this white line here, showing that that's also a support level. So 104.3 down to 104 is going to be a lot of support for the DXY. Again, that is this one chart. Two other charts I charted different ways also show, look, this is around 104.086. Another DXY chart charted a completely different way. Now, this is one I use more the most on or post about in Discord. This is around 104.18. So again, what I'm telling you is it is very possible the DXY will hold support here and start pushing up. If that happens, again, if the DXY is dropping, typically that is bullish for indices and bullish for Bitcoin. If you start seeing the US dollar start pushing up, that will be bearish for markets and bearish for Bitcoin. So I'm just letting you know, I have three charts showing that the DXY could possibly get a major bounce from this point. If I'm wrong and this support level breaks, well, that means the US dollar has a long ways down to go, and that would be bullish for Bitcoin and bullish for the indices. But I wanted to point that out. That is why today is important, because we're testing that support level now. As far as the reason why March 7th is important, well, we can go back to this chart. Down below, there's little, if you're familiar with TradingView, you can have news and events. So Fed Powell, or the chair, the Fed Chair Powell speech will be on March 7th. But what's most important and what you want to pay attention to on March 7th is the unemployment rate. So Powell is, I guess, stuck between a rock and a hard place. So I'm expecting unemployment to be a lot higher than most people are expecting. I think a lot of people are expecting actually the unemployment rate to be pretty high. So on March 7th, we get those numbers. Now listen, Fed Powell, all right, so what he said was if we get down to 2%, right, with inflation, he would lower interest rates, depending on the, as he says, data. He also said that if employment starts going up, that he would lower interest rates. However, if he lowers interest rates, with these tariffs that Trump, implemented, and now there's retaliatory tariffs from Canada, Mexico, and China, this is going to cause inflation. Prices of stuff are going to go up. So if unemployment starts going up, I think people are going to see it as bullish, because Fed did say if unemployment starts going up, he would lower interest rates. So I think when we see those numbers on March 7th, people get bullish thinking, okay, well, the Fed's going to cut rates, they're going to start printing more money, and that could be a temporary, bullish move for markets. But I think it'll be short-lived, because I don't think the Fed can lower interest rates, because the prices of everything are going up. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, but on March 7th, pay attention and see what the unemployment numbers are, because a lot of people are losing jobs left and right, and I do think that unemployment number is going to be very high. But again, bad news could be good news, but I think it will be short-lived. And remember, we're coming up on this ring. Again, I can't give you the exact timing, because it depends on price. Whatever price is when we make contact depends on the time we make contact with it. But you can get access to live chart anytime you want. So again, that's why March 7th is important. Pay attention to that. Today is important because we're at a key support level. So pay attention to see if the DXY gets below 104. If that becomes resistance, guys, that's probably bullish for the indices and bullish for the markets. But I do think we can get a major bounce here based on these rings, these yellow rings, and because of these three charts all showing 104 is a major support level. So again, if that holds, bullish for markets. I'm sorry, if that holds, bearish for markets, bearish for Bitcoin. If we get below 104, be bullish for markets and bullish for Bitcoin. So again, very important. Pay attention to that today, over the next day or so. So let me give you key levels to pay attention to. So again, as I said, and you can see why I was saying that this was such a key level. we had this support level, right? This support level became resistance, right? It was support, 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 support. Well, that flipped as resistance. Not only that, you had this channel that I mentioned in the last video. It was resistance, right? We broke into it. It was resistance, support, resistance, support. We broke above it. It became support, support, broke back into it. Notice all the daily candles are above this point. So that's something to pay attention to as well. If we do drop, pay attention. So today's candle, if we got a daily open below 82,982, well, that would be the first time we got a daily open below this channel, right? Notice the meat of the candle on the daily is always above this line. But we came down, you know, the wicks below, and that was the top of this channel, right? That's where we got rejected. And we have this fib line, this yellow fib line right here. So that was a lot of confluence for a point to short. That's why I made that post about we hit a key resistance level, even though we were still above. Well, actually, the Bollinger Band was probably close to that point. Prices moved, the Bollinger Band continues to move out. But basically, that was your point to short. If we get above 94,300 around that area and that holds the support, then get bullish because we have a lot more upside. But for now, since we did rejected at that point, your current resistance, and again, I talked about this yellow macro, this line right here goes back since the beginning of Bitcoin. That is resistance. You have this center dotted line of this channel. That is resistance. You have this fib channel line. So we are under a key resistance level. So as long as we are below 88,000, let's say 89,000, right? For below 89,000, I would be short from that point. If we get above, you know, the top of this channel and a fib line, it's 92,700. If we push up to that point, ideal point to short. But if we get above, let's say 94,000 to potentially 94,900 and holds a support, then we're going much higher. I mean, I'll give you some upside targets as well. This is a very key fib channel line that goes up here all the way to 106,800. I'm not expecting it to go that high. I just want to give you your targets. Obviously, these fib channel lines, you can see these are points to long and short if you're scalping. But I'm just showing you that the next major resistance level, if we held above 90, just say 95,000, your next target to watch is around 106, and that is close to our previous high. So that's your upside target if we got above 95,000 and held a support. In the meantime, I would be short from 89,000. Again, we did fill a gap, and we're going to cover that as well. Your next support level just below. Notice that we found a support twice on this fib line. We did get some crazy wicks below, but your next key support level is around 84,000. Again, this is on the daily. And then we have the bottom of this channel, which is around 82,582. But the most important, and I'll show you this on the weekly as well, but the most important lines to watch are trend lines. Again, above this yellow line would be bullish, below is bearish. Your next key support is this orange macro trend line I've been talking about for a while. So again, if we get below this, that is going to be very bearish. As long as we hold above that, it could be bullish. But again, I will, if you get those likes up, guys, I will make a video when I go long and when I go short at this ring. We're already getting close to it. Let me give you the hourly. So as I said, and I showed you in that video why this is an important key fib line. So you don't just get points to long and short. You get them pretty close. I mean, we pushed above. So I told you, you know, if we hit this line, obviously it's at an angle. If you have access to the chart, then you know, because if we make contact here, it's 94,160. Well, you make contact here, it's 94,656. We wicked above it to what, 95,099. But you can see we got rejected at this point, so you get great entries. You know, you have your stop above just a bit, but that's a hell of an entry for a short. And we came down. This line has been here for probably 6-7 months, longer than that. Notice it dropped below just a bit, 81,527, but your point too long was around 82K. And now, and this post I just made in Discord, your point to be short from, again, like I said, 89,969. Your next key resistance is around 89,500. So I'd be short from 90K. Your next key support level to pay attention to is going to be around 86,460. Again, this is the hourly. Down to 85,212. And that next major support level to pay attention to, 82,300. So pay attention to that. You can see we did find support here, so this would be a support level as well. Again, I would only be scalping along from 80K, because if we break 82,300, I think we have a lot more downside to go. But I do believe when we hit that ring, we will get one hell of a bounce. Let's see what the DXY is doing now. DXY is right at that ring, so I'm very curious to see if we hold and we start pushing back up. We'll have to see what happens by the end of the day for the markets. So I hope that gives you a level. So again, just to recap, I would be short from 89K. Your next key support levels, again, 84,000. It is very important you pay attention to this line. Notice we've yet to get a daily open below the bottom of this channel, all right? The meat of the candle above, meat of the candle above, meat of the candle above, meat of the candle above. If at any point we get a daily open below this channel, this channel right here, that would be the first time we got a daily open below, and I think that'd be confirmation we'd have a lot more downside. And I still believe we could come down and fill this gap, but I think when we come down to fill that gap, as mentioned in that previous video, I think it'd be a trap. You know, people are ready to long that gap, and you can see right here, we filled this one gap. I mentioned in the previous video, we had a gap above. We pushed all the way up. Remember, I was talking about this trend line, so you can be creative finding these trend lines. You know, we're getting rejected at this point. Trump made that, I guess he talked about the reserve or Bitcoin reserve or Cardano or something. Everybody got excited. We pushed up, we filled this gap right here. We got rejected and came down. So we still have a gap down here. You can see this gap. Let me add another little trend line here. So you can see this gap right here, right? We have not filled this gap yet. To fill this gap, we came down to 78,670. Fill this gap, we have to drop down to 77,635. And look how price went out its way to fill this gap up here. So again, those gaps do tend to get filled, but again, everybody wanted to long it, long when that gap got filled. Well, market makers jumped in to push price up, so people missed out on that long. I think next time when we come down and fill that gap, people will be ready to long it, and I think it will continue down, and I think that's where that ring will come into play. And I already covered your key levels below. I'll make another video soon, you know, as price moves along. I just want to give you key levels for today. And just mention the DXY is at a critical support level. You start seeing that DXY go up, that would be confirmation to hold your long from 90K. And again, we'll see what happens when we get down, if we come down to fill that gap. But again, I'm bullish above 95,000. For now, I'd be short from 90K. And then your support levels, but we get some crazy wicks. But most importantly, pay attention, see if you get a daily open below. And just so you have it, so today, if we got a daily open below, let's say 83,000, that would be bearish, because we're getting a daily open below for the first time below this bottom channel. If it's tomorrow, let me see, if it's tomorrow, that would be below, let's say 82,700. It's the next day, 82,500. So that is a key level. And we've got wicks below, but we have yet to get a daily open below. So again, daily open below that level will be confirmation that we have a lot more downside. But it's going to be interesting to see if the DXY starts pushing up. You can already see Bitcoin's getting rejected at this point, and we still have that gap below. I will give you this target down below. If we come down to this point, I will go long at this point, because we'll be close enough to this ring. But I would prefer to long when we make contact with the ring, and then we cross the ring, I'll go short. Get those likes up, guys. I'll make a video and I'll show you entering my trade. But again, I will keep everyone updated in Discord, you know, when I trade that ring. But we're getting close. It just depends on price when we make contact. So giving you a time frame is pointless, because it's push up, we're further from the ring, we drop, get closer to the ring. But again, March 7th, and again, DXY, we're at critical support. So I'm expecting, as possible, we start getting a hell of a bounce. So we'll have to pay attention to the news and see what happens. We have these tariffs. You know, unemployment I expect to be pretty high. You know, we've got prices going up, inflation's going up. So it's going to be a wild ride, a lot of volatility. But I did want to cover those things. Again, guys, we get to leverage trading, coin catch, no KYC, no VPN. Again, that link's pinned in the first comment and description. Guys, I said I'll keep you updated as price moves along. I'm out.